What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Wrestling Junkies podcast of Mr. Cincinnati. As always, I'm joined by the podcast dad. He is the Canadian son of a security sales technician. Buddy, how you doing? Systems technician, yeah.
There you go, systems technician. I'm good, man. How are you? I'm doing well. One of my favorite shirts, easily one of my favorite shirts.
It
love.
Really is just a fun one.
It's a good one. It's a good one.
Yeah.
And Kevin Owens is a national treasure, and I love him.
I feel like we need something along those lines. We need to make our own.
For you? No, thank you.
What?
Mr. Cincinnati is a national treasure? No.
Son of a cop. Yeah. The Cincinnati dream, you know.
Oh no.
You can be the Westchester dream, whatever.
I'm already the Westchester Twins. That's my fantasy baseball name. So
I like it. Okay. Around the corner. 2 games in Tokyo down. Red Legs next week.
Nobody cares about your Reds.
I'm excited. I'm going to the opening day game for the first time. So
good for you. I've actually never been to opening day. I think we're going to go to kids opening day on Saturday. So
nice. Oh yeah. Well, Fernando is in the chats. Good to see you tonight, my friend. Dynamite was absolutely fire. We are going to be talking about that tonight. Thank you guys so much for joining us. We got a new one in the chats tonight. This is Garrett. Greetings from the Netherlands, friends of CCP podcasting. Holy shit. I think that's the first person from the Netherlands we've had watching on the show tonight. So greatly appreciate you joining us. And shout out to Chris and the rest of the crew at CCP Podcasting. Go and give them a follow on X. I did a really, really good chat with them that just released a couple of weeks ago. So if you haven't had a chance to look at that, check that out. Podcast Dad, I gotta say, it's the end of a week. It's time to relax. But before we do that, there's one thing our friends should do. They should go follow us on X and TikTok at Junkies Pod. Wrestle Sips will be making its return. We're going to have some new merch related to that as well. But we are going to be putting those first 4 episodes up on our TikTok account over the weekend, so you can kind of check out what it is all about. But like us on Facebook, follow us on Instagram at Wrestling Junkies Pod. But most importantly, do us a huge favor. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. We're on the road to 500 subscribers. We need your help to get there. Podcast Dad, I believe the count is 443. So we are down 1, but that's okay. Tell your friends, tell your mom, tell your situationship, tell your dispensary technician.
Your barista. I told my barista in the drive-thru.
Nice. I like it.
Because there's a sticker on my steering wheel. So,
would you look at that?
He asked what that was, and I got to have a nice little fun conversation. So hopefully he subscribes. Hopefully he's watching now. Hey,
there you go. The power of wrestling. You know.
Mm-hmm. I hope it works. If
While
not,
you're at it,
I'll be back.
That's true. You do love your Starbucks, man.
This is
I'm not judging it. It's just an observation.
This is an iced Americano. It tastes like tree bark, but man, it gets the blood flowing.
Yeah, Max just got me on French press life. He was not a fan of my Keurig, so.
God. French press, eggs Benedict. I don't even know who you are. What happened to you? Domesticated son of a bitch.
I know. Surprised the hell out of me, you know. But anyway, follow our friends at the Main Event Wrestling Network, too, while you're at it, at mainevent_net on all social media platforms. If you love great live podcasts, On the Mark podcast is going to be live tonight at 8, 7 Central. If you like great blogs by Paperclip Mike, Great Brown Hope, watch-alongs with Tino, Vicious Rants with Tim Vicious. He's got a pretty awesome interview that he has in the works. Like, you guys are going to fucking flip when you hear this. So very, very proud of him and impressed. So, yeah, go support the crew on all social media platforms at mainevent_net. Last up, go show some love to our friends at Gorilla Press Apparel. Remember, gorillapressapparel.bigcartel.com. Promo code WJP2024 gets you 25% off site-wide. And as we alluded to earlier, we've got some new merch coming out. That logo is going to be on a shirt in the very near future. Quite frankly, I cannot wait to wear one of those, buddy. It's going to be just so damn comfortable.
Well, all our merch is. And especially if you go through Gorilla Press, their shirts are comfy as hell.
Super, yeah.
Mm-hmm. I sleep in them.
I don't know how you sleep, but I'll take your word for it.
Well, Dunkin' Donuts. Yeah, I used to work at Dunkin' Donuts. That's right. Drink their coffee all the time. It is very underrated.
You know what I've been seeing on TikTok that I don't know if it's just meant to piss me off or what, but Dunkin' Donuts technician that is doing a bunch of doing the crazy coffee orders with 30 pumps of syrups and
exactly what you're talking about.
It's like what the in what world is that
I remember, and this is way off topic, and we're going to get to our guest in a second, I promise. But I remember we had one customer that came in every day, got a medium coffee with 18 cream and 18 sugar.
Every day?
Every day. Every day. It was like that much coffee. And I sit there and spin the damn.
I don't get it. I don't fucking get it. Like,
I don't either, because I drink coffee black, so I don't.
So do I. And people think I'm a sociopath, but no, it's fine.
I don't. I'm right there with you. I mean, literally, this is espresso and water. So, just like, alcohol, I drink vodka and water.
No. And thanks to you, I'm going to have the song Espresso in my head for the next half hour.
I don't know who that is.
So, God, we've been through this.
Oh, is that
Sabrina Carpenter? Yeah.
Carpenter? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay. I've been in the Sleep Token lately. Check them out.
Okay. All right. Good to know. Bob Dylan apparently is coming to Cincinnati this year.
Cool.
Oh, okay.
I'm going to see Disturbed when they're here. So Disturbed and Daughtry.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Wait. Wait, what?
All right, we'll talk about it. Let's get to our guest. Come on.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, no, we've dilly-dallied enough. Today, we are joined by one of the most passionate WWE superfans that is out there, Kerry Morris. You've seen him front row center at some of WWE's biggest events, including Royal Rumble, WrestleMania. He's always facing the hard cam. He's always bringing that energy. And not only is he a diehard wrestling fan, but he is an ambassador for Collar and Elbow, a wrestling apparel company that truly gets the culture of the sport. We're going to be diving deep into the road to WrestleMania 41, what he hopes to see in Vegas, and much more. So without further ado, let's welcome Kerry Morris to the stage. Kerry, how are you, man?
Aloha. How's it? We're doing well.
Fantastic.
Thanks for
certainly. We got some different weather than you do today. I'm sure it's cloudy and gross, and that might be partially my fault.
That was us yesterday. Cloudy and rainy all day, but it's finally getting spring and summer here too. We're finally warming up too.
Nice. I like it. Well, like we alluded to, Kerry, it's hard not to see you at these major shows here, and WrestleMania is right around the corner. So let's just kind of start with WrestleMania 41. What are you excited for about the build to the show so far?
I mean, besides the atmosphere just being in Vegas, I think the Cody Cena match is really going to be one to look forward to, honestly. That's just, also, I'm just curious, how's The Rock going to play into things? How are other superstars and legends and Hall of Famers going to play into the main event as well? So I think it's just going to be a hot crowd. Honestly, a fun weekend. There's just a different atmosphere being in Vegas. Honestly, I think it's better than being in New York City, personally.
Yeah. Okay. Have you been to Vegas before?
Yeah, plenty of times. I've been there even for pay-per-views. No Way Out in 2008, and then Elimination Chamber in 2018, and the Money in the Bank in 2016.
Very cool.
Oh, and the Summer. I forgot the SummerSlam, but yeah.
Nice.
So with this build to Mania, this is a pretty highly anticipated show, and you've been to multiple PLEs. How does this one kind of differ than what you've seen? Like the excitement around this show alone.
Hard to say. I mean, this will be my 24th Mania in a row outside of the COVID year. That shouldn't count, but hard to say. It's just hard to say. I mean, just knowing that you have good writers and good production, versus Grandpa Vince running the show. So it's going to be good. There's gonna be surprises and twists and turns. Like I said, they're going to go all out, and they're going to work their ass off too.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And you've already kind of said it. 24 straight WrestleManias. I mean, that is just. I can't even imagine that. But I have to ask you, favorite Mania moment that you witnessed live, the one that is just number one, no question about it.
It's going to be Hogan and Rock.
Okay. Yeah.
That atmosphere, just besides that whole weekend, that atmosphere. And just, I think that's the first time and one of the few times I can recall when Hogan did his, old school kick out on the Rock. You're seeing people at the last row of the nosebleeds just jumping up and down and screaming and going crazy, or you feel the building shake. And that's hard to replicate.
Yeah.
So with like you said, 24 straight Manias, do you have almost like a pregame warm up for these? Like, and how has that changed since it's gone 2 nights? Like, what does that look like? Prepping.
God, and also now that I'm also a lot older too, I need more rest. So like, these are gonna be some long days, honestly. I think the show still was 3.5, 4 hours, maybe even a little longer itself. Plus, I just found out, of course, I think the show goes live on the air at 4 p.m. local time. We have a reception that starts at 11:30 a.m. And so I got to be at the stadium by 11:30 a.m. And then got to be all the way for the show. And then we got the press conference staying towards afterwards. So I'm probably not going to get out of there and back until after 10 o'clock, And then get to do it all again next day on Sunday. So, yeah. So a lot of it's just rest. I'm getting in early Tuesday morning just to give myself a chance to do non-wrestling stuff, slowly acclimate to the time change and everything else. And then just once it hits Thursday and the Superstore opens, it's just keep going.
So that Mania has been 2 nights now for a couple of years. Is it better or worse than when it was just the 1 night huge extravaganza, or do you like it being 2 nights?
Now I like it 2 nights because it is shorter. Overall, the event is shorter. Overall, it's one of those after Saturday night, you're like, oh, I could do this all again tomorrow. The exact same thing. It was just kind of cool, I know some people feel like night 2 doesn't have the appeal as much as like the first night. Sometimes I'm like, well, I told someone I said like you celebrate Christmas. Now, if you have Christmas on 2 days, on December 26th, you're still excited as a kid open your presents, but it's not as special as on the 25th. But it's still just as exciting, but just not quite the same. Gotcha. If that makes sense.
Yeah, makes perfect sense. Yeah, no, absolutely. So as we talked about this a little bit too. You're a brand ambassador for Collar and Elbow. For those that may not be familiar with them, tell them a little bit about the apparel line and kind of the origins of it and how you became to be involved with them.
Well, I'm no longer an ambassador for them. I don't know what happened to them, but right after SummerSlam Detroit, I don't know if I've heard different ownership change in different directions. I can't get anybody that, even like Al Snow can't get anybody to talk to him, and some of the wrestlers can't get them to talk to them. So honestly, I don't know much anymore. I'll still wear their shirts on occasion. Like I'll wear the BWO one for Blue Meanie than Collar Elbow. But more now I wear Dave Hero and Brian, they have Super Friends signatures. I wear their shirt. They've helped me rebuild my autograph collection. So as a loyalty to them, I'll wear their shirt logo when I go to shows.
Nice.
So when you're going to these big shows, I know you said you kind of get there a little early. Are you doing other things like just to check out the city, or are you just strictly prepping and resting for these big shows?
I'll check out the city. In terms of Vegas, I'm sure I'll hit up some of a little bit of the casinos, get some drinks, try a couple. I've been enough times, but I still go to a couple of favorite places to go eat and just walk up and down the strip. And for me, also just a time adjustment. It's not as bad as going to like the East Coast or when I go over to the UK or Europe. It's only a 3-hour difference, but still kind of want to time adjust a little bit.
Yeah, makes sense. For sure. I don't know. I feel like this has to be a common question that you get, but I'm going to ask it anyway. What's your advice for fans that want to get involved and be a bigger part of the WWE experience like you have over the last, at this point, almost 25 years?
Oh, God. I've been going since 89 to shows, honestly. I'm that old. Just in terms of like going to more shows, sitting ringside, or just...
Yeah. I feel like, especially because we are seeing this new influx of wrestling fans, whether they are lapsed fans now that there's a new regime, or someone who has just discovered this because of the booming popularity, and people are kind of figuring out what's the best way, do you think, for someone to start planning to go to WWE events more as somebody that has seen just about everything? I
would say, everyone's different. Everyone has different situations. I would say, pick a show a few months out, like say, SummerSlam might be a good one to pick out in New York. Plan it out. Already, pick out kind of the days you want to go. Plan ahead. I know it's Saturday and Sunday, but maybe plan on getting there Thursday in case you want to go. I don't know if they're going to hold SmackDown there in the area, but if you want to do that, or maybe there might be some other independent shows, or maybe they'll run like a little mini SummerSlam World there that if you want to do that on a Friday. I don't know if they're holding Raw there the night after, but it's kind of the same thing. Maybe hold off, plan for Tuesday. If you have a flight that you can change without a change fee to leave Monday, if it doesn't happen, and then start budgeting, start looking at flights, looking at hotels. And if that doesn't work, then like, okay, I'll look at, you already know New Orleans is next year, 13 months away. Start looking at hotel, start getting an idea where you might want to stay, map it out to the arena and the stadium. I know I've looked at hotels. They're telling me we can't book that far out yet, unfortunately, but at least map out where you might want to stay first, and then map out flights and of course the dates or the time frame, and then just kind of go from there and just ask around, ask people like me or others, what all do you do? Do you go to the WrestleCons? Do you go to TNA has a show? Are you going to go to TNA show? Are you going to go to, GCW? Are you going to go to other shows? Are you going to, or if you, maybe I don't want to go to the stadium shows, but I want to go to, find out there's watch parties in the area instead.
Yeah.
A lot of it's just a lot of asking questions, take notes, bullet points, and then trial and error. I mean, a lot of it's going to be trial and error, especially nowadays where they keep adding so many freaking events. It's just like, when my first Mania was 17, you went there for access, Mania Sunday night, and that was it. You know, and now it's like all these freaking events are adding. Now they're adding a roast, and Hall of Fame is back to being separate, and there's this, and who the hell knows what else they're going to add on that, then, NXT and everything else. And
let's talk about that. Like over the years, you've seen the fan experience like change throughout everything that you've gone through. Is there something that you think that they can improve, or something that they have improved on so far? Or do you think like, I would like if they did this a little bit better?
Honestly, I'm not a fan of WWE World. I'll be honest. I prefer Access. How they kind of old school, how they did. Now, old school Access, $15 or $25 got you potentially access to meet all the big stars. Back in the day, Hogan, Rock, Austin, NWO, Triple H, all of them. And then they went to, they had their GA people, and then you had like the VIP and then the premium VIP. But at least you got a photo and an autograph with that.
Yeah.
And then now it's like, now you got to buy the ticket to get in. And it's like WrestleCon, but I think worse in some ways. And then you got to buy the autograph ticket, or the photo op, or if it's, I think I saw if it's an 8x10, that's one price. But if it's a belt, it's this price. If it's a Funko Pop, it's this price. And it's just like, damn. I mean, everyone else does it, but that doesn't mean you got to follow suit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I get that. I didn't even get to go to, what was it at that SummerSlam, the merch store? Because the line was just insane. So I passed on it. So,
Yeah. And a lot of times, at least the stuff I've seen there, like a lot of us, I know a lot of people, they'll go look and they may buy one of things, but a lot of stuff they'll wait for it to go on clearance, half price or less on shop in a few weeks.
Yep.
Yeah, exactly.
Or go somewhere else. Like I bought this off of Amit.
That's
cheaper. So
exactly. Yeah. Oh, exactly. Yeah. So a lot of people just wait. I guess if you go for the experience, or some people, they just go by who knows. And some people they'll buy anything and everything there, and you're wasting your money. You got to ship it home or check a bag. Just wait till you get home.
Exactly.
Unless they live overseas, maybe it's cheaper to check a bag. That might be a different story.
For sure. Yeah. No, that makes complete sense here. So this is a comment from Stu over in the UK. I was looking at tickets for WWE shows since they've got the European tour, looking at £200 to £300. Couldn't imagine the prices for the PLEs. Yeah, it's and we talked a little bit about this yesterday, as far as not just really wrestling tickets, but concert and entertainment tickets as a whole are under scrutiny just for the exorbitant prices and TikTok trends and whatnot. Yeah.
Just from what I used to pay for Mania a long time ago, or my first Survivor Series in '94, or Rumble in '97, to now what you're paying now, it's like, holy crap.
Yeah.
But people are paying, people are talking about the Mania prices, like the front row, but those sold out in minutes. Those are gone. So all it's going to do is encourage them to keep doing it.
Oh, 100%. 100%. They're going to keep, as long as they're hot, they're going to keep making money.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. As long as people are going to pay me, I get it's a business. Why would you turn it down, that money? But I think they need to be careful. I've seen what people are saying they're charging for the nosebleeds and upper legs. I'm thinking that's getting too much. Like, come on, now, really?
Yeah. I agree. All right. As we kind of wrap up here, any bold predictions for this year's WrestleMania? Like, what's one surprise you think we're going to get?
Oh, I think in some ways, they almost hint. I think they almost hinted at it when they announced Steve Austin appearing at the World both days. He couldn't interfere in the match last year. Are we going to hear that glass break on Sunday night, the 20th?
Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed that happens.
If when that happens, you talk about one hell of a pop when that happens.
Oh, it's going to be amazing.
Yeah, that's man.
I hope it happens.
I can't wait to see the videos of people in the stadium and hearing that pop. That's just,
oh god, yeah, that's gonna be something. Yeah, it's just I say it's just gonna be a fun weekend too. Like I said, they're doing some one of a kind perks they never done before, pulling that curtain back more, and so it's gonna be a fun time.
Neat. Very cool. Well, Kerry, thank you again so much for joining us. It's always a pleasure to catch up with you. Before we let you go, where can everybody follow you on social media to keep up with your WWE travels?
Okay. If it's on Instagram, I have to look. Sadly, I always forget my screen names. I changed it to That Fit Wrestling Fan.
Okay.
So, especially since right now the trainer I have is the same trainer that Seth and Becky use when they come out here and visit. So.
Nice.
Oh, very nice.
He's whipping my button to shake for sure. So,
awesome.
And then I think X Twitter, I think it's That Fit WWE Fan, if I remember correctly. So.
Okay, great. Well, again, have fun here. We're only a few weeks out, so safe travels. Have a blast, and we can't wait to catch up with you soon.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, appreciate having me on.
Anytime. Thank you again, and we'll talk to you soon.
All right, talk to you soon.
See ya. Thank you again to Kerry Morris for joining us, and thank you to everybody watching tonight's podcast. Dad, it's the end of the week here. Dynamite is in the books. What the fuck did Mox do last night?
That was disgusting.
Like, why?
That was disgusting. That was one of the grossest things I've ever seen. And I'm not a squeamish guy, but that's
I don't know. I've seen worse. It's still pretty bad, but
on national television.
Okay, maybe not national television.
Okay, I've seen worse at indie shows. Yes,
that's
200 people in the room.
I immediately thought the Nick Gage 200.
But that's in a field in West Virginia or wherever the hell they had it. Like
Maryland.
I don't know. This was crazy. It was gross.
There was a lot to there is a lot to take in from that for sure. A couple of things about this match that are worth talking about.
You have the floor.
First things first. I don't understand why this was a mid-show angle. There was a lot, and that's not to take anything away from Megan Bayne and Stats match because I really enjoyed it. Having Tony out on commentary to set up the match at Dynasty, great touch. That's not necessarily a show ender, I don't think, especially when you saw the spot that Moxley took. It seemed like this is the end of the rivalry between Cope and Mox, and then we also saw Dax walk out on him.
Yeah.
So I think there was a lot more story-wise that they could have drawn from. I'm kind of just done with. I'm just gonna say I'm done with this Jon Moxley world title reign. This particular one, I'm just done with. I don't care.
What time was this match?
I do not know exactly what time. I didn't watch the replay.
Was it start of the second hour?
Probably.
So my only thinking was it between the basketball games?
No,
that's my only thinking. Is if that's why it was placed where it was on the card because it was in between the two basketball games, so they could get the most eyes on it. You know, people trying to find something to watch between the two basketball games last night. Like that is my only inkling or kind of clue that it would be where it was on the card because they wanted the most eyes on it possible, and maybe by the time the main event was on, people have already flipped over to watch the March Madness game.
Still didn't fill out a bracket either.
I did, but I don't know what's happening.
And thank you, Fernando. The very first time that we did anything with Kerry, or recorded anything with him, wasn't a live show. I think we recorded it over Zoom. Like the audio quality was just not great compared to what we're doing now. So it's always nice to kind of see. Yeah, it's nice to see the evolution of where we've come with this show and guests that come back. You know, it's a lot of fun. But
it's a lot of fun.
Yeah,
but no,
that's a good point. I didn't think about that as far as the games.
But this whole feud and this whole title run, I think is we're done. Let's give the title to Swerve at Dynasty. Let's call it what it is. Like the Moxley heel run was not what we wanted it to be. Is what it is.
Yeah. Expectations and reality were very different.
I think it's time to pivot for them and move on. Unfortunately.
Now, when you say pivot, does that mean drop the title or disband the group?
Yes,
or both.
No, both at this point. Like turn Moxley into what he was. Yeah, like when he was the face of AEW. Like that was. I think people are having a tough time hating him. That's the problem. I don't. That's what I'm thinking. Like I think he's at the point where it's looking now. For
as far as all of the run-in spots that we kind of had for this match, because there had been the lingering issues with the patriarchy and Willow and all, that all of that made sense from this standpoint. I think it and again, maybe this was to just have something to pop a number between the games, but you could have done all of this. You could have made that title match at Revolution a street fight and had all of this happen, and it would have made much more sense. And I still say that the women should have closed the show, but there's things that they could have done.
I agree. I don't know
the story.
There's just a lot.
I hope so, Fernando.
There's just a lot going on in that story, so I don't know. Yeah. We are where we are, and that's fine. It is just a lot going on, and I'm ready to move on. Yeah. And yes, hopefully Swerve does take that title, and we do something different. Because I think it's time. Nothing against Mox. I mean, we love Moxley, obviously. Like the biggest star from our
sometimes
hometown.
Things just don't.
It just didn't work.
Shit happens. Yeah.
I think the whole story with Mox was he was coming after AEW, but the AEW originals that came after him to stop him were not the AEW originals we wanted to come after to stop him. Like, I don't think we ever thought a Darby Allin was going to beat Jon Moxley. I don't think we ever thought an Orange Cassidy was going to beat Jon Moxley. It didn't happen. And then we have Cope coming after him, which Cope just got there 5 minutes ago. Like, why is he defending the AEW banner kind of thing? It's kind of clunky. You had the Jeff Jarrett thing, which was just weird. It just felt kind of all over the place, as opposed to what Moxley has been when he was feuding with Kenny Omega, when he was feuding with CM Punk, when he was feuding with MJF. Like, it was just, it's the story. It didn't work. And we've seen title runs that didn't work. Hello, Gunther. Like, we've seen stuff that just hasn't worked with awesome wrestlers, and it is what it is. Take the title off.
If Triple H can
refresh,
if they can come back from Katie Vick, I think it's all good.
Why would you even?
I just wanted to.
If MJF can come back from the damn devil, like,
Roman Reigns came back from suffering succotash and getting covered in dog food. And then, the Austin heel turn also.
Tony Storm came back from a pie interface and reinvented herself. Like, it happens. It happens.
Mm-hmm.
It happens. Taker wrestled in snakeskin pants.
I don't think that was entirely his fault, though.
It wasn't, but it still happened.
Depends on who you believe.
It still happened. It was weird.
Yeah.
It was weird. It was weird. He wrestled Giant Gonzalez. It was weird. Didn't work. Not everything works.
WrestleMania.
He is. Because that's why half the people would tune in. We don't start this argument tonight. Don't start it. You don't want to.
All right, fine. Damn. All right.
You don't want to.
I know. All right. Jesus. Fuck. All right.
What else caught your eye?
Love the idea of Megan Bayne getting the push to challenge Toni Storm. Says that they have a lot of faith in what her ceiling is. I'm really going to be excited to see what Toni Storm's character evolves to next, because so much of her transformation into this character was to set up the Mariah May story. So now that is concluded, it's going to be interesting to see kind of what that looks like in, for lack of a better word, the real world of AEW, if that makes sense. Not just the vacuum of that Mariah May story.
Yep. Mercedes and Billie Starkz killed it.
Yes. And also, Fernando, we saw her live at GCW back over Rumble weekend.
Star.
It's you feel it when you're in the room with her. Yeah,
there's definitely a presence.
yes.
The
fuck they did.
Like that was that Mercedes' best match since coming to AEW? It's up there.
It is up there. It's up there. And we knew that was going to be the case with the Billie Starkz.
Good for her showing out.
Yeah.
Like she got a prime spot and she showed out.
Yep.
Like AEW got a good signing with that. And I hope they continue to push her and get her kind of off of Ring of Honor and get her on this on national television. Like she's somebody that they can get behind and make a big star for sure.
Dude, God willing, I mean, we could probably be living in a world in the next 10 to 15 years where Billie Starkz and Nick Wayne are at the tops of their games in AEW with both of those championships. And you have to know that Tony Khan already has that in his mind at some point.
I don't know what's going on in Tony Khan's mind. I would hope so, for sure. But you never know what's going on in his mind.
Yeah.
Yes.
Hope so.
And I'm pumped for that, because if this is Dynasty, you think it's title for title? Like, do you think they continue to add all these titles to Mercedes? Because Mercedes is going to win. Oh, we're not.
Don't want it. Damn it.
We're not ready to talk about that Band-Aid yet.
No, actually, like no,
okay.
not
all right.
not
Never
at
mind.
all.
Never mind.
Actually.
Forget I said anything.
No, that's just not. Oh man, that sucks. Look,
did you honestly think Athena would beat Mercedes?
I thought with my heart and my heart, not my head. All right,
there's no way. There's no way. That's not.
I just want to live in a world where Athena's on AEW programming. And
she will be. She's just not going to win.
Albatross, fucking Ring of Honor right now.
Well, Mercedes will be on Ring of Honor soon. So all 5 belts.
Jesus.
I mean, she's kind of like the belt collector right now, so that's what she's doing. Athena's had the title for what, 3 years? 2 years?
Yeah.
So it's gonna have to end sometime.
Fucking stories with it too.
It's gonna have to end at some point.
Yeah.
Okada, Ricochet, Speedball, triple threat. Okay.
I'm totally good with this. I'm so good with this. I mean, we had already said how excited we were for Speedball to show up in AEW. Ricochet finally has a grasp on his character. This is the right playing field for him.
That's not to say that they can't.
There's gonna be a lot of good shit to watch there for sure.
That is going to be a very fun match. I don't know what they're doing with Mark Davis.
I just got roasted. I feel like that's good. That's really good.
Yeah.
That's really good, actually, Steve. That's props to that.
Look, I'm sorry. That's why I'm here. Yeah.
Fernando thinks Timeless Tony versus Mercedes all in, winner takes all.
Well, Mercedes will add another belt to that collection, I guess.
Not everybody can be Stephanie Vicaire. Not even Timeless Tony or Mercedes Mone.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Anyway, what else was there to talk about?
I mean, Ospreay.
Shout out to AR Fox. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
I mean, good match.
A lot of fun to watch them. Always is. Yeah. I think it was only their first time in an AEW ring, but maybe only their second time mixing it up. So, shout out to the WWE 4 crew.
Hangman looking like my son, looking like Ian. But hell, I mean, always can cut a good promo. So good to see him on the show. Same thing with MJF. We got a little MJF. So good to see presence on the show. Same thing with Kyle Fletcher. Saw a little bit of presence on the show. So I was happy. I don't need him to wrestle every week. But a promo's fine. I'm cool with that. I'm totally fine with that.
Fernando, respectfully disagree here. I think EO best in the world right now.
Well,
I know that Julia and Stephanie can make
Stephanie the best right now.
Make an argument there too, but I don't know. I think EO's got to be in that conversation.
The Owen Hart tournament's coming back up. Is that at Dynasty? Is that where they crown the finals? I don't remember. I just can't remember.
No,
I don't think it
usually
is,
that's something. It's their July show, whatever their July show is.
And I said Okada. I apologize. It's Omega with Speedball and Ricochet.
Yeah.
That's on me.
That's right. Okada Omega is happening soon, though, for sure.
That will definitely happen. But yeah, like pretty good episode of Dynamite. Like nothing too minus the Moxley backdrop. Nothing insane happened, but
that was in his skin. Like it just tugged it. Ugh, Jesus.
Yeah, and like you said, FTR kind of walking out on him with something. I mean, Cope needs a story. Let's see what it leads to.
Is this because I mean, then it also begs the question: is this the end of FTR? Is this Cash eventually turns with Dax and goes against Cope? I don't know. I don't know.
I'm kind of looking. I'm looking at what Collision has. Harley Cameron in action, Johnny TV and Bandito.
Yeah. That'll be fun.
Commander and Hologram versus Dralistico and Mortis. And then the Trios Championships. Remember those? On the line, the Death Riders versus Top Flight and AR Fox. So AR Fox getting some TV time.
I like it.
Good for him.
I like it. Yeah. Before we call it a night here, Podcast Dad, I think we kind of made the decision to do this like right before we came on the air here. We're going to add ourselves a little bonus episode tomorrow. Not our traditional Wrestling Junkies podcast, but we are going to be doing our complete breakdown on After the Empire of Coastal Empire Wrestling's Cupid's Chokehold event, in which we saw the crowning of the new Coastal Empire Wrestling Heavyweight Champion, Hollywood Hunter James. Finished watching the show. I am just so satisfied with what happened. It was so much fun to watch, with the exception of our friend's contract being fuck Dax Anthony. Fuck him.
Yeah, we won't talk about that.
Fuck Simon Sermon.
Yeah, we will, but we won't talk about it right now. You'll have to tune in tomorrow to see that, folks.
Yeah.
Time TBD, but we will be live tomorrow.
I might even say something nice about Akeem.
Okay, well, don't do that.
Might. I said might.
Don't do that. That's gross. You get cooties.
It wasn't the worst match, okay?
Stop. Just stop.
Okay. I'm gonna stop. But yeah, no. So yeah, tomorrow night, special start time 6 p.m. Stay posted to our X page for details on that show. But again, we're gonna be breaking down Cupid's Chokehold. Probably get in a little bit of a preview of Springtime Slaughter. Just a little bit, but yeah, I think that's going to do it for us tonight. Podcast Dad, pleasure as always to see you. Thank you to everybody that joined us tonight. Remember, follow us on X and TikTok at Junkies Pod. Follow the Main Event Wrestling Network. Promo code WJP2024 gets you 25% off site wide. But most importantly, do us a huge favor: subscribe to our YouTube channel. We are on the road to 500 subscribers. We need your help to get there. Just tell one person. We greatly appreciate it. You know, we'd love to talk to you guys every day. We want to grow this community, so tell your friends, tell your mom, tell your situationship, barber, dispensary person, you know,
anybody.
Yeah.
Tell the guy on the street. I mean, he might not have a phone, but tell him. Maybe he does.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Podcast Dad, great to see you. Another week is in the books.
Well, I mean, we have tomorrow, so you don't get to get rid of me that easily, Mr. Cincinnati.
In the same breath, you know. Yeah, no, it's
nope.
Okay.
So we will see you guys tomorrow. Yay.
Yeah, we'll see you guys tomorrow. Thank you guys so much for joining us again, as always. Thanks again to Kerry Morris for joining us as well. He's a podcast dad and Mr. Cincinnati. This has been the Wrestling Junkies podcast. We'll see you tomorrow.